And now for the live shows, professionals serving community, your boy, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from the top of my house, a couple flights up from the kitchen. The show is Philanthropy in Focus. Your boy is Tommy D. I'm extra fired up. I don't know what it is. I'm more fired up than I was an hour ago. Maybe I just saw my kid in a little play at school. That got me fired up. The guests on the show, they got me fired up. I got a really cool week in recap of what it's like to be Tommy D. What a funny thing to even say. You know how cool it is being Tommy D? Like I say that a lot. I say, you know, it's pretty cool being Tommy D. I get to meet cool people. And I say that like sort of in jest, sort of as a wink at myself a little bit, because I think we're all in creation mode. We're all in manifestation mode. We're all trying to build something here. And we're just making this thing happen. And I will tell you what I want to share about making some things happen is I have two special guests here from North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center. I'm going to say hello to them, and then I'm going to say a bunch of other words. So Jennifer Rush is here. Kathy Rivera is here. Good morning. How are you, leaders?
Good morning. Happy Friday to you. I think I'm feeding off of some of your energy. So keep it going. I need to wake up.
We're just getting warmed up, man. I'm just getting warmed up. Jennifer, what's going on?
I'm feeling it, you guys. Good morning.
I don't know what it is. I am channeling energy and juice from the universe. I feel very fired up today. We're going to have some fun, but we're going to really, because look, there is a serious part of this program. There's a serious part of this episode, but you know what? In life, we have to smile. There has to be joy. And somebody I ran into this week was just talking about making sure you find that joy. And listen, let me just start with this. This particular week, shout out to my team, my friends over at the Nonprofit Resource Hub. The Nonprofit Resource Hub is an organization that my business partner, Ed Probst, and I were part of the founding team with the Nonprofit Resource Hub. Really, really special organization. Specifically, I want to give shout outs to Kellyanne Serini from Serini and Associates, who does all our marketing for the Nonprofit Resource Hub. Allison Lafrelita, who is our executive director of the Nonprofit Resource Hub, and also Christina from Serini and Associates, who did a lot of the behind the scenes marketing work as well with Kelly. So many others that we could thank, the committee, et cetera. But let me just say, I say this as a joke sometimes, but when there's something in a name where it actually explains what the thing is, I think it's better. Like, let me give an example. Oh, I don't know. The nonprofit sector connector. Well, that means that's a guy who likes to get in the midst of the sector and help connections so that everybody's better for meeting each other. Or one like the Nonprofit Resource Hub, which is just that. It's an organization that we founded. It's a trade association that is focused on bringing resources, connections, relationships, information, education to the sector. Specifically, we are out here on Long Island, but our event was really embraced our folks in New York City as well. And I know because it was a virtual event, we had a lot of people checking in from different parts of the country. So if you want to check that out, nonprofitresourcehub.org. If you want more information, just email me, Tommy D, at Philanthropy in Focus, PHOCUS. That's how you spell Focus. Philanthropyinfocus.com. Or get me on a couple of things I'm on. I'm on the social media, man. TommyD.NYC. That's on Instagram, and that's also on TikTok, believe it or not. That's a whole nother story. I don't even know what I'm doing on there, but we'll figure it out. Last thing I want to mention, almost the last thing, two more things. One thing I want to just give a shout out. Peter Fertig is a friend of mine. We know each other over 20 years. We used to work together at ADP. He founded an organization called the Bob Feller Act of Valor Awards Program. And I spent 2 days down in Washington, D.C., because he had a special awards event at the Museum of the Navy, which was a cool place. My buddy Mick Collins, shout out to Mick. I'm sure you're listening, but Mick Collins, my buddy, met me down there because he lives not too far outside of D.C., so we hit that event together. So you know what? If you have a really special organization and you want to invite people and get them out to connect, you don't have to just go in your own backyard, folks. If you want to connect with organizations around the country, or organizations, if you want to connect with people anywhere, let's reach out, get on my show. I had a couple meetings this morning already, and one gentleman and I were talking, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to get a couple of my organizations that I'm involved with connected with you. And I said, you know what the best part is? It's my show, man. I can do whatever I want. So this show goes on only for the rest of my life, and then maybe we'll have somebody pick it up after that. The last story before we get into today's conversation is this. Shout out to my friend Sri Sharma. I haven't talked to you in probably a year, but you made a really special connection for me. Karen, you know who you are up there in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Karen and I spoke for about 45 minutes. Karen is very involved in nonprofits up in her neck of the woods. And I don't know, maybe there's an opportunity. Yeah, dude, maybe we bring some of those Boston organizations on my show. You know, maybe New York Tommy comes up to Boston and we play around. We do some cool special things. But I feel like, you know, this thing that I thought about for like 2 years, Philanthropy and Focus, before it ever was a real thing, is now approaching, by the end of the year, we'll hit 99 episodes of a thing that was,
Nice.
right? Isn't that cool? And it's a
Impressive.
thing that was just an idea. And that's why, and that's the inspiration. What I want to bring out to people is just do the thing. Like if you have an idea, just do it, just figure it out. And you know what? There's a good chance it'll go really well. And there's a good chance it won't go really well. And guess what? Now you just learn another way not to do it. So figure it out, try something, just activate, do something. So maybe that's what the universe is trying to share with me, for me to share today. And maybe that's why I'm extra juiced. But let's get into this conversation. I will say this, the first ever episode of the show was my friend Katie McGowan from Horseability. Love this hoodie, by the way. Shout out. We're actually working with, isn't it a great hoodie?
Yep, we've used them. We work with them.
Horseability is a great
Great
organization.
organization.
I'm on the board of Horseability, super special organization. Had a meeting this week. Shout out to my buddy Fred Taffer. A lot of shout outs, Tommy D. Fred Taffer does promotional items and apparel. And a lot of my nonprofits are starting to partner up with Fred. But we're going to work on getting a whole bunch of these hoodies, because these hockey hoodies, which if you listen and you can't hear, I got a lot of hoodies. This is my favorite hoodie in hoodie history, like the best hoodie in hoodie history. I think this one right here. So I just got a bunch of compliments at the school. But second show ever was Larry Grubler, Transitional Services for New York. Okay, that organization serves 4,000 individuals in the 5 boroughs of New York City with mental health challenges. And you know what Larry said to me? Larry said, Tommy, you know what it is? We all need support at different times. And we all need to help each other. And I go, Larry, I'm with you, man, 100%. Because I'm on the side of this thing. And, you know, I won't say, I'm not going to pass judgment on anybody else, but I don't believe that 1 in 4 people or 1 in 5 people will experience a mental health issue in their lifetime. I believe it's 1 in 1 or 6 out of 6 from people that I know, or, you know, or 100 out of 100. We don't have to argue the statistics, because I have no clinical background to make the statement I just made. I'm just a guy with a microphone who gets to say words. But I know people, and I believe that we all go through different things. And I would say it's somewhat of a spectrum, if you will, of people who have different mental health challenges. Last thing I'll say for a while is Robin Williams has this very special quote that I talk about. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. And that's special. And I try to remember that, because we don't know what people are dealing with. With that setup, with a 9-minute introduction like that, we're probably gonna have to go to a break before I even have my new friends speak a word other than hellos. Jennifer Rush, Associate Executive Director, Kathy Rivera, Executive Director of the North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center, which also has another name though, right? There's kind of like 2 names.
Yep. The Guidance Center for short.
The Guidance Center for short, sort of like Tommy D, for like a short name.
Tommy D.
Like a nickname, understood. All right, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about, you know, there's this terrible stigma around mental health. Let's just start the conversation with, you know, maybe Kathy, your experience, Jennifer, your experience and your background in the sector, so to speak, in this world, so mental health related. And I'll just ask questions as we get into it.
Yeah, so I appreciate, first of all, Tommy D, thank you for having us on this show. I think there's a variety of reasons we were invited, and our hope, just to sort of, you know, put the invisible agenda out there, is that we raise awareness, we impress upon the community that this is a true call to action. Putting the pandemic aside, this was a problem prior to the pandemic. It was just exposed more and enhanced by the pandemic.
It's almost like, I'm going to be silly, Kathy, but it's almost like I want to send a thank you card to COVID-19, because
Really?
like this was like an issue before, but exacerbated might be the right word, but I like your word, exposed. Like, hey, look at this. This is a real thing, right?
Right. And if we're giving thanks to COVID-19, I will say it gave us permission to talk about it, regardless of who you were, what your zip code was, and what your income was, right? Because, you know, unfortunately, mental health issues do not discriminate, right? It's an equal opportunity challenge. So I do, you know, I do want to say, you know, we want the, for anyone who's listening or anyone who watches this later, our takeaway is to, 1, know that we are here. do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to meet the community's needs. And don't be fools, right? We are the Guidance Center. The North Shore piece of it, we serve all of Nassau County. So we are an independent nonprofit organization here for the last 70 years to meet the needs of the community, which, as we'll go into the segment, learn is really crucial.
Yeah.
And also to let folks know, not only that we're here to help, but we also can get help, right? Meaning support, donations, talking about how you can help, volunteering time. We'll get to all of that good stuff later. But that's really our agenda for today.
Love it.
Now, I'd love to, if I can steal a couple of minutes and just sort of let you know.
I'm a navigator.
Kathy.
I'm just here to navigate. You take it away and I'll ask questions as appropriate. Tell me your story.
Yeah, so I just, for those who are listening, because we talked about how COVID gave you permission to talk about it. So, I think being vulnerable is a really difficult thing, especially when people are at their worst. To talk about what they are going through is even a greater challenge. So I always think that it's important, not only as an executive director of an organization, to share what my why is in terms of why I'm here, to let people know that it's okay not to be okay and to share your story. I'm here basically because I have a personal connection to this. My now 20-year-old son at the age of 15, for the first time, shared his desire to take his own life. And that was hard and painful. I am a social worker by profession. So not only was it, a personal struggle, as a parent, because as parents, we're human beings first, and whatever our title is second, dealt with the shame and feeling like, what did I miss? I screwed up here with my own kid, right? And so I, ensured that I was going to use that personal experience, and it's a struggle every day, right? Him waking up and wanting to live is a good day, right? These little milestones are a great day.
Yeah.
And so I think that, with mental health issues, please remember it is humanized and cannot be demonized. My personal story has just been fuel to just go out there, promote, do what we do, and ensure that, listen, we fight this because this is a real battle. And I'll talk a little bit more, as we go along in terms of, my own personal experience with this and my contributions.
Shout something out real quick. First of all, thank you for everything you've said, and thank you for your candor and sharing your personal story. And I think many of us have those types of stories to share, whether they be our own things are going on in our own head, in our own mind, in our own brain, or those of us who have family members. Life is challenging. Life is difficult. It's like what you just said about humanizing versus demonizing. God, man, if we could just be more compassionate for each other and stop the nonsense. Let's work this out. Be like, I remember, I know we'll go to commercial break, but I remember being a kid, 21 years old, 21 years old, something like that, going to school at Baruch in Manhattan. And I was a bartender at the time, and I was pretty low one day. And I was on the F train heading into the city. And this person who I'll never see ever again, a little girl, looked at me, smiled, and literally changed the trajectory of my day, which probably my week, which probably et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just think in terms, gang, listen to me. What is the ripple effect of saying the nice thing or grabbing somebody and helping them and looking out? Hey, how you doing? How's everything? Can I help you with stuff? Just everybody in your life, your spouse, the people you don't know, strangers, whatever. I'm prompted to think of this group that I listen to called Revolution. And, a lot of their music is just like, we got to look out for each other, man. We got to help each other. We got to connect with each other. So before we go to a quick break, Kathy, how, if somebody's gotten to this point in the show and could use a hand, could use some help, could use some connection, how do they call the Guidance Center? How do they get to the Guidance Center? And if the Guidance Center is not the answer, obviously the Guidance Center has other resources. So can you shout out if somebody's at this point in the show and needs a little bit of help?
Please reach out to us immediately. We are open 5 days a week, 516-626-1971. I'm physically, which was a good year, by the way. I'm literally in our Roslyn office. If you want, come by, say hi. Jen and I are here. Jen will be in our Manhasset office later. Our website is www.northshorechildguidance.org. Reach out to us. You get a live person. You will get coordinated with in terms of help, questions asked. And if we're not the ones, to your point, Tommy, we will be the pathway to where you need to get. We don't just say, oh, sorry, we're not here to help you, we're hanging up. That's not how we do business here. And that's not how we work with the communities.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. We'll be shouting that out throughout the show. Jennifer, when we come back, we're going to get really into kind of your perspective on this work. I just got to shout out a bunch of people checking in on Facebook. Peter Fertig, again, great show the other night. So blessed to have been there. Camp, good morning. My buddy Paul Rubin's got an event. You know, Paul's got an event tomorrow.
Spoke to him a couple of weeks ago.
We're talking.
That's so good. So he's saying that he's looking forward to working with your organization. So Camp, good morning. If you don't know, Dylan, we're not going to break yet, baby. So Camp Good Morning, if you don't know, is a very special bereavement camp for young people who have lost a sibling or a parent. They actually have an event tomorrow. If you want to check that out, go to campgoodmorning.org. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but Google Camp Good Morning, MOURNING. There's an event at the Hicksville VFW, if I'm not mistaken. It's a bingo event. I will be there. Your boy, the nonprofit sector connector. My wife is doing some volunteer work with Paul. Obviously, Mick College checking in. Always checking in. Love you, brother. And Peter Fertig. Let's go to break. We come back. Peter Fertig, again, I see you saying, hey, baby. All right, let's go to a break. We'll be right back. Just go to a break, Dylan, because I'm out of my mind.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
I used to make these threats. I used to say, you're going to have to sing the song with me. But I just asked in the chat, and Jennifer and Kathy might want to sing the song. So
Okay.
the lyrics are, nonprofits need connections to move in right directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy.
Join Tommy's attic.
Yes, join Tommy in his attic. Yeah, we got a singer on our hands. Jennifer, aside from being an incredible singer,
Oh, yes.
tell us about yourself. I'll read a little bit. Jennifer Rush is the Associate Executive Director, has a diverse operations background in medical, educational, community-based services, including hospital and substance abuse settings. Recently at the Northern Berkshire Healthcare and Brattleboro Retreat, that's in Pittsfield, Mass, right? I used to have, was there another organization in Berkshire County, ARC, actually in Pittsfield. I knew somebody from Pittsfield in my childhood, long time ago. Jennifer,
Maybe they're still there.
It might be Jen.
Yeah. Or that, yeah.
It was this funny thing. It was like a younger sister of a woman I used to work in a bar business with. And
I know her.
You know her. Well, I mean, maybe you do. You probably do. I don't know how big Pittsfield is. All right. Let's get back into this conversation because I said we'd be a little silly, but we got to be serious too, because this is a serious topic, right? But I laugh to keep from crying, to be honest with you. So let's get into that.
Well,
Jennifer?
I think Kathy really said it all super well. For me, I'm a mom before I'm a professional, and just like Kathy and so many others, I have my own story. My family of origin, a whole history of substance abuse, and I also have a daughter who's had mental health challenges for many years. And the universality of it is really, it's you said it best, Kathy. I can't do it better. And Tommy, the work that you do to sort of support our mission. I've been in nonprofits my entire career and always mission-driven organizations. And you said it, a spectrum of different organizations, but not having the resources and the capital to have these kind of forums to build those, to build that social capital, to build the connections. Camp Good Morning. It was actually at a horse ability event I went to when I first came here. We got partnered with Book Fairies, who now delivers books to one of our programs at the Children's Center at the courthouse.
I got chills. I literally got chills. Shout out to Eileen and Eileen Minogue, executive director, Amy Zaslansky, founder. I mean, those are my people. Like I had Ken Serini on the show last week, Serini and Associates, the Imagine Awards, the whole thing, my buddy, my pal. And I said, dude, we could have chose to work in the hedge fund world. And he's like, no, we couldn't have. That wouldn't be our world. Right. And I was like, exactly. Like that, what you just did for me, Jennifer, that fires me up with those that you're playing with all of our, right? Putting the pieces together. You all who are listening on radio, Jennifer Monez, hello, I got your text message. I know you're listening on radio, but like we're moving our fingers around, pointing around because that's it. Like that's how my mind sees the world. It's sort of like a Spider-Man web of like putting all these people together, and without collaboration we can't live in silos. That's more, that's about the sector specific to the mental health stuff, right? The challenges, right. This is like, I want to ask you both a question, and I don't want to go in the wrong direction here, but these things, I'm showing my phone, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'll just say that.
Yes.
Have you seen the movie on it's on Netflix, it's The Social Dilemma? I think everybody, if you haven't seen that, you all should see The Social Dilemma. It basically talks about how strategically, on purpose, these companies are, and maybe it's obvious now, but are building these apps and things just to get that dopamine fix, hit us with the dopamine, right? My addiction is more to my inbox and Outlook than it is to the apps, although I am starting to get addicted to some of these apps, and I know a little bit about addiction. But in the case of the social media, I watch our little ones, specifically who your organization is serving, children from is it from birth to age 24? I mean,
yep, you got it. And in utero, right? With our, perinatal mood disorder.
You got to explain that to me for sure. But so I'm Gen X. So I remember the little man with AOL running across my screen. He was like making all those noises. We remember that, the three of us. So we remember before that, is my point. These young people don't remember before that. Our millennials and our new zillennials, or whoever the next gang is, certainly my children, are digital native. I mean, this is all they know. I remember my oldest swiping, she knew how to swipe the iPad when she was a year old. But I was going to say for better or for worse, honestly, probably for worse. But what have you both seen professionally as this social media? And certainly, tragically, I know it hits our young girls even worse. At least, I don't want to say in my own world yet, but anecdotally from what I've seen in my friends who have older daughters, can we talk a little bit about social media and that experience and how that's affecting mental health?
Yeah, I'll start if that's okay, Jen. It's interesting, right? Because we have seen similar items that you've raised. In fact, it was the catalyst for us to create what's called the Latina Girls Project several years ago, because we saw the impact it was having on the Latina population. These are especially young ladies who are first generation immigrants, who are navigating both their sort of cultural worlds, right? The American culture and the culture of their family. And social media creates this world that as young people's minds are developing, not to get too scientific for a moment, right? Becomes desirable, becomes addictive, right? Becomes a platform to really sort of have them second guess themselves, lower their self-esteem, not create confidence, rather destroy it. It also, it really also changes it alters their brain, right? Because to your point, the swiping, the instant gratification, right? The sustainability of attention for just minutes, and then that's not good enough. On to the next one. That was a funny reel. On to the next one. That's not how life works. And when you do that often enough, right, you create this sort of pattern in your mind that life should be that way, right? So it's that, that FOMO, fear of missing out. If I'm not in what's happening now, I am missing something. And then what's wrong with me? So I think what you're raising, we've seen it is getting younger and younger. The dependency, the addiction, not to go a little all over the place, the online gambling addiction that we're seeing amongst our teenagers.
With young people, you're seeing the gambling?
Not, I wouldn't say young. Let's define young,
Well,
right?
yeah.
I would say 12. Jen, you can correct me.
Well, no, I mean, I think to
older.
connect to your the social media piece and the phones, it's, we are seeing, the low level, which we don't even think of as gambling, but the games that you play where you're betting, you're buying and you're betting online. So that has become a whole burgeoning field of gambling, and in that gambling addiction connected to substance abuse and we just did a whole clinical education on the gambling addiction.
I want to know about that clinical. We got to make sure we hit on that, because I have a million questions about that, but I want to just say, what's interesting to me. So I'm going to share something. I share a lot on this show. I try not to go too deep into the personal stuff, but I think people who plug in here or know me, I gave up, but I think I said it earlier today. Anyway, I gave up drinking about 12 years ago. And I certainly have that addictive personality. And recently I'm working with a coach now, because I tell you these things, folks, not for your pity. I tell you these things to say we all are in this together. So I recently got a diagnosis with ADHD, and a lot of what you're talking about, these dopamine hits, that brain, my coach calls it, the beautiful brain that we have when we have this ADHD, is we're looking for like little things, like a fix, like we're looking for this, or we're looking for that, right? So I know this growing up, working in the bar business, there was gambling around. Gambling is, and now, what makes, as a 44, going to be 45-year-old man, having lived through a lot of these things, having seen them in working in bars and restaurants at that point in my life, when I was super impressionable, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, all those years doing really dumb things and still making it out okay. What scares the hell out of me with the gambling, especially having seen it in my family and seen it personally, is it's freaking everywhere now. Like, I can't get my kids through a ball game without DraftKings advertising. I can't listen to sports talk radio without these advertising going on. So I have one of my sons asking me, hey, like who's not even 12, who's asking me, hey, why don't we do one that they say we can get money if we bet on this game? And I'm like, oh, we are in so much trouble. We are in so much trouble if we don't do something about this, because gambling, especially to the drink, to the drugs, but the gambling destroys lives, destroys families. Kathy, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, thanks, Tommy. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think, again, what you're saying echoes and actually supports what we're seeing with the families that walk through our door. If I can pivot to what you touched upon, whatever the pathway is to the initial issue, to your point, it spirals. So if we touch upon the gambling, it leads to very often addiction issues, of substances more specifically, and mental health issues. And so and if, if I may touch upon it too, some of the suicidal thinking, right? Because then
there's no way out, right? I'm in this spot. I lost this money. Maybe I drink now to make it feel bad, so it feel better from the badness, so it goes away. But
I fractured my relationships with my entire support system, and I'm literally,
what am I doing? Right. So the only way out is that that is never the way out. That is a permanent problem to a temporary issue. I'm really pissed right now. That is a temporary problem. Excuse me. A permanent problem to a temporary issue or challenge we're working through. Please, if you have, make a call. if they need some help right now, again, shout out the Guidance Center real quick. Jennifer, how do they get in touch, or Kathy, just so we do it before we go to break?
516, pick up the phone, 516-626-1971. Remember, that's a good year, easiest way to remember. We have a triage emergency program. We have the Douglas S. Feldman suicide program. We have experts here to help. You are not doing this alone, and you don't have to do this alone. Call us.
Thank you. And God, thank you so much for being here today. Couple things that are coming up for me, and then we'll go to break, I promise. Girls Inc. of Long Island. Do you know them? You need to know them. Renee Daniel Flagler, she's my friend, she's my buddy. In fact, this particular network, Talk Radio.NYC, decided to support Girls Inc. of Long Island over the last year, all of this year of 2022. If you don't know Renee, we got to make that happen, because specifically you talked about that Latina girls program. I forgot what the program was called, but
Yes.
so let's make the connection there. Ironically, as I'm talking about Renee, I see my friend Nyrikia White checking in on Facebook. What's up, kid? She is with Girl Scouts of Suffolk County.
I know her, and she just won an award. Shout
Saying
out
hey.
to you. She's
Shouting you.
phenomenal.
Congratulations, Nyrikia. I saw your pictures on the old Facebook there. Congrats, very special. You know what I mean? Long Island, you can go out to an award ceremony pretty much every night if you want to. There's a lot of stuff going on here. But when we recognize our leaders in nonprofit, that's the ones I want to be at. Those are the special ones. So shout out, Nyrikia. Love you, miss you, see you soon. I want to also say that if you don't know, Jennifer and Kathy, if you do not know Joe Salamone from Long Island Coalition Against Bullying, we must fix that. We must fix that. We must make that connection. So, Joe, if you're listening, let's get you connected to the team over at the Guidance Center. We do have to take a break. This is one of those shows. We're going to run out of time. We're never going to run out of words. We'll be right back.
Are you passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauver, employment law, business law attorney, and host of the new radio show, Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
Hey, everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
I saw you singing, Kathy. I think you started to sing too, Jen. Welcome back to the show. This is Philanthropy in Focus. I'm going to be a crooner. I decided I'm taking singing lessons. I'm going to be a crooner because I like to wear hats and I like to sing. And I think it'd be better for the rest of the world if I could sing well. You know, it would be better if, like, just for the listener, so that wouldn't be so difficult to listen to me. Katie McGowan, thanks for the text. Katie McGowan, check it out. If you're watching us on Facebook, look at the hoodie. We got to talk. We need more hoodies. Jennifer Mones, I agree. The gambling destroys lives, and you know what's really before we get off this gambling topic, the thing about it with at 17, 18 years old, these kids are getting into fantasy football, fantasy baseball. I watch my own son who's now doing the fantasy stuff. Listen, gang, if you're not up for it, that's a gateway into gambling. That's a gateway to going to the track. That's a gateway to sports betting. That's a gateway to the whole thing. I mean, it's all wound up. Last shout out I want to make is my buddy Robert Rosner. I love you, Robert. my friend for life. Thank you for checking into the show, and thanks for the text. All right, let's get back into it. I want to talk about programs. Let's say, for example, my family, we're experiencing with one of our children a mental health challenge. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's substance abuse, maybe it's what looks like sadness. Take us down this road. I think we're from our notes. Jen, you want to start a little bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, coming off of the gambling and the addiction, I was thinking programmatically, we clearly, service families and children with mental health issues, but we do have a specialized program in Westbury, our LEADS program, which is designed and specialized in the treatment of families, children with substance issues, chemical dependency, children COAs, what are children of alcoholics or families that have substance abuse in their family environment, and co-occurring disorders, which is really substance abuse and mental health. So the LEADS place has expertise in that, where they'll provide individual support, group counseling, education to families and COAs and children of alcoholics to deal with those issues as well.
Yeah. And I do want to say, Tommy, because, I think you've been saying this throughout the whole segment. It's, we are one strong and mighty organization, but we can't do it alone, right? Not only do we need support from the public, but we also need to partner with those that can, help us with families that may not be able to be served by us for whatever reason, and vice versa, right? We become sort of the fill in the gaps, right, for other organizations. So we work very closely with the community. A big shout out to Pamela Brennan Davis, who did a fantastic training for our entire staff from the Long Island Gambling
Association,
right.
Gambling Addiction Association.
Give me Pamela's name again. Pamela Brennan.
Pamela Brenner Davis. So they work very closely with us, with the children and families that come through our doors, where we're treating them for perhaps sometimes multiple addictions. And if there's something more intense, we definitely work with her and her resources to definitely help the family.
Let me just call out that organization real quick. The website is nyproblemgamblinghelp.org. I just want to make sure that's it there. I'll share that.
And just circling back to the whole social media piece, we have a very small respite program, but I just want to bring it up because we were talking about sort of that addiction and the media high intensity impact. And the Wilderness Respite Program is an outside sort of therapeutic, like a nature milieu experience where you don't have your phone and you're going on a hike with counselors and you are, experiencing your life, not through media.
No device.
No device. No.
What is that like? Jennifer, I can't do it. How can I get through a day without my device? I mean, come on.
You're getting empowerment. You're getting support. You're getting you're learning skills outside that you wouldn't learn inside, and it's a phenomenal program. There's no prerequisite to be. You don't have to be in our services to be part of that.
Well, tell me about that. How could somebody? Is that a family thing? Is it a
It's for adult. It's for youth. You have to be able to be relatively healthy and take the hike.
12 and up.
Not like take a hike. Like you said, take a hike. You don't want to take a hike, Tommy D. You didn't mean it that way, right?
Not at all. No, they do Long Island hikes. They go up to Bear Mountain. It's every other Saturday. It's a weekend respite program for youth and adolescents. Yeah.
Is that through the year? Like wintertime as well?
Yeah.
People, okay.
We run it all year round.
So who do we call? I know you have something, Kathy. Hang one second. Who do we call at?
Call the same number and ask for the Wilderness Program, and we'll connect you.
Listen to all of these programs. It's incredibly special. I tell you this, folks, nonprofits change our world only every single day. And they're addressing the issues that don't get addressed if they're not there. Ken was on the show, Ken Serini. I had a sign up here. I ripped it off the wall to show him that it was there. Can you imagine a world without nonprofits? You cannot, because it doesn't make any sense. So we must. Which, one other thing I got to say before Kathy gets in here again is the Long Island Imagine Awards applications are live right now. And we only have 9 or 10 days for those applications. So go to imagineawardsli.org or .com, or just text me. Imagine Awards. I'll share it on Facebook and I'll Google it really quick. Kathy, while I'm Googling that, it's imagineawardsli.com. I found it. Kathy, please.
Yeah, I just, I wanted to echo what, Jen was saying, I mean, the wilderness program, it's a day trip. So I just want to clarify that too. But, if it's for kids 12 and up, it also offers that pause, right? Family stress can really be challenging when a child is in crisis and or a child has a mental health need. And so you need that pause where parents need to take a break from the kids and the kids need to take a break from the parents.
Get out of it, right? Like I even know that
Right.
personally sometimes, and this is just because I'm evolving as an adult. I know I need to leave this situation right now, but I can do that as a 44-year-old man, but a 9-year-old can't always do that, can't just get out of the house. They don't have that same freedom or liberty. But what you're saying is in this wilderness program, they're there and their family is home. So they're out of that element to do whatever it is kind of they need to work through with counselors, correct?
Absolutely. And then what happens is they get to a place, right, with the counselors where they're building team, right? They're really going through, it's a rigorous hike, right? So they're really challenging themselves and feeling good about their success. And then they're reconnecting with their family and they're in a different place, not to mention the physical benefits of it too, right? You get some different kind of air in your lungs. But I wanted to kind of like also just not clarify, but really talk about, the nonprofit sector is really unique. And one thing I want the audience to recognize, for donors to recognize, we have an incredibly generous board. We're always looking for new board members. If you can't donate money, donate your time, donate your network, donate your knowledge, donate, what you know, who you know. There's always ways to help. But when you see one nonprofit, you've seen one nonprofit. You've not seen them all. So I really want to really impress that upon the listeners. What I think what's great about us amongst what we've been talking about so far is that we have a specialty of really focusing focusing on children. And I know other organizations, do a wide array of services, but our niche is really like children and families, and we do treat the family ecosystem, right? So at one point we'll talk more about our programming from soup to nuts, in utero, right, with our perinatal mood disorder and our maternal health and wellness program, to our grandparents respite program, and where we provide support as well, and everything that falls in between. So I want to just really reiterate that we treat the family ecosystem, and I am really proud of that. Our talented team, we're here, again, 516-626-1971, pick up that phone, call us if you need us, we are here.
I love that. And it tells me though, that as hearing you say that, I talk about specialization a lot. There's generalists and there's specialists. That sounds like you're in your lane, and you're really specialized. But what it really leads me to is, well, that means you need to collaborate with other orgs. You need to collaborate. Come on, Tommy, it's an easy word. You need to work with, let's try it that way. Like my buddy, Yolanda Rabano Gross from Options for Community Living. Like that would be a great connection for you if you don't already know Yolanda. So it's funny what you just said there too, Kathy. Like, we'll get into that. Well, guess what? We're going to one break. We come back, we do the lightning round, which is something I just made up a couple weeks ago because I feel like, how do we now get another hour into the next 9 minutes? But that's so I made that up as the lightning round. But I want to leave it all on the field, like I said to you when we were prepping before. I just want to, we're going to come back. I want to know about who can we connect you with? Is there a gala? Is there a fundraiser? What's coming up? What do you need? You mentioned obviously the need for board members. So let's leave it all on the field when we come back. And then, we'll just have to have you on the show again. You know what? It's my show. I get to do whatever I want. So we just have you back again. All right. Philanthropy and Focus, your boy, the nonprofit sector. Wait for it. Connector. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. It's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
In a post-COVID world, you may have many unanswered questions regarding your health. Are you looking to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have a desire to learn more about mental health and enhance your quality of life? Or do you just want to participate in self-understanding and awareness? I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each Thursday, I will tackle these questions and work to enlighten you. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will be frank about health to advocate for all of us.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
Yes, they do. I knew.
Almost on key this time. Almost on key.
Almost
Yeah,
on key.
no.
No, it was perfect. What a trio we are. We should take it on. We should take it on. Now, you know what? They might tell us to take a hike if we showed up and started singing. Back to the other thing we were talking about before. Listen, so many people are fired up about this episode today, and I'm getting a lot of text messages, and I get a lot of notes here on Facebook as well. And I think it's because this is a conversation that is absolutely mandatory. We need to address it. If I broke my arm this afternoon, and I hope I don't when I leave the attic, but if I did, nobody's going to pick on me, or nobody's going to give me a hard time or judge me because I went and got a brace on my arm or I got my arm set. But for some reason on this planet, we've treated mental health challenges incorrectly. We're fixing that. Hey, where's my mug? Shout out to Dara Rosenberg. What are we doing on the show? No big deal. Just changing the world. No big deal. Just changing the world. One of the ways is, listen, if my legacy is nothing other than that we've had a conversation more consistently and appropriately around mental health, well, then it's a life well lived. Jennifer, start us off because this is the lightning round. This is the lightning round. Start
You
us
go,
off.
Kath. Kathy's going to start us off.
We'll do it the other way. Right. I totally mixed up my notes.
No, it's okay.
Start us
And
off.
Tommy, I don't want to lose this thought because I love what you said, the analogy about how we treat medical health from mental health. I mean, and the reference that you made earlier about, Robin Williams. Emotional backpacks are invisible and they get heavier and heavier every day. And if you don't, and you can't see it, and if you don't have your spidey senses up, what you do or what you don't do can save or lose a life. So, I mean, while that sounds very dramatic, it's the truth, right? The human spirit is fragile, as is the human body.
It's real. It's incredibly real. And thank you for saying it. Because you know what, Kathy, to your point, I'm tired of dancing around anything anymore. This is a serious thing. People are taking their own lives. Young people are terribly depressed and they're not getting the services they need. Enough's enough. Let's fix the problem and stop dancing around this. I'm not, anyway, if you want to listen to me complain for an hour, that's a different show. But I'm pissed off for greatness. That's the point. Trying to make it a better place. So Kathy, you had more before we go to Jen?
Yeah, so I just, I want to just quickly, if I can, just, go a little bit more into our programming because we're really, really big, in terms of our breadth of services. But, if it wasn't clear, just making it very clear, all three of our locations in Roslyn, Manhasset, and Westbury provides outpatient mental health services. We also have a drug and alcohol program in our Westbury location. We have the triage and emergency unit and the Douglas S. Feldman program that treats very urgent cases. We respond within 24 to 48 hours. There are no waiting lists. I want to make that very clear. So even more reason to pick up that phone and call us. We have a Good Beginnings for Babies program for pregnant young mothers, teenage mothers who may be pregnant or first-time mothers who need that support. We have a grandparent respite and support program. We have a lot of community-based programs. So there are families that don't do well coming to us. We're going to bring it to them, right? That is not an excuse. We turn no one away for their inability to pay. We've been around for 70 years and we have kept that at the heart of who we are. We were a grassroots organization started by moms who saw the need in the community and said, you know what, we're going to become a policymaking board and ensure that the community does not have a tragedy and gets the support that they need, and emerged over the last 70 years into a fundraising board. We also have school-based mental health services, our Latina Girls Project, the Wilderness Program. We have, you're not an outdoors person, not a problem. We have a respite program where we will take you to a Broadway show. We will take you to, indoor activities, right, that are equally therapeutic. And we have, this is cute too. We have a wonderful organic garden program where we don't, we take you beyond the walls and you have, therapy through nurturing an organic garden. And if I tell you, I've never seen children fight over tomatoes, which is a good problem to have. I have seen it and I can attest to it. And it's a beautiful thing to see, right? Nutrition and mental well-being. Perfect combo.
I shout out all that work, and I want to come see the garden one day. I want to work in the garden. It's a garden, like I want to come do a day of service, and I'd like to make some of my kids, because I do these days of service. 60 days of service is a project that I'm on.
Come on down.
I'm going to come down. I just wrote down Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I don't know if you're hooked in with Mark Cox, but my buddy Bert Lurch is on the board of directors. Bert, you're my brother. I love you. Bert does great work with that organization. Mark certainly does. Mark Cox, the executive director, CEO over there. Are you connected to them? If not, let's take it offline. We'll make sure you are connected with them, because just some of the things. Nairiki is going to join me on that day of service. Nairiki, only if we both wear overalls like farmers. That's the deal. We're going to both dress up like farmers. I don't know if you're into it. I'm doing it. Overalls. When I was a kid, we used to wear overalls and like open one thing and let it hang down. Like that was the style. I don't know if you guys remember. Anyway, totally getting off topic. But we're going to come to the farm. Let's make sure we get you connected. See, here's what I want to do. I want to just have like a forum of what I should do is let's do a lunch one day where we just bring a whole bunch of people together. We'll probably do it. You're in? All right, Nairiki. Overalls it is. So we're going to do that. We're going to do something I just decided. We're going to do it at Horseability. Katie, I know you're listening. I want to do a day out at Horseability. We'll bring together a bunch of organizations focused on mental health, specifically with our young people. Not necessarily an education thing, more of a let's get together and network. And Tommy brings some Panera sandwiches. Jennifer.
I just want to add one other program, and it's in the category of less traditional services, but we have at the Family Courthouse, the Children's Center, which is an educational day space for families that have to go to court and bring their children and don't want to have their children, and the stress of being in a court environment can drop their children off for free in an educational setting with a teacher. And that was the connection. The Book Fairies program brought the book. So every kid that comes gets a book that ends up in that program. So that's just one other non-traditional program that we do.
And I want to say, I'm sorry, Jen, thank you. I completely missed that one. So this is why we're a perfect pair, right? She's the yin to my yang. But I just want to say, we're always looking for volunteers. There's always ways to help. Again, I started this, segment with, this is a call to action. It's all of our responsibility to take care of one another, because I assure everyone who's listening, you either have someone in your family, someone, or someone who knows someone that may be struggling. And life is not, a straight line. At any given point, you may find yourself in need of help and support. I will say, we've seen more and more cases of kids coming in, who never had a history of this. Was it pandemic related? Possibly, right? Sort of hard to say, but if please, all the volunteers come to our Nancy Marks Right from the Start location. That's in Manhasset. We are happy to open up that garden and have you, pluck away and seed away.
And I think we'd be remiss when we talk about sort of emotional well-being if we didn't acknowledge the staff here. Kathy and I are tasked with not only, making sure this agency is sustainable, but creating a healthy environment that allows the staff to do the really hard work that they do, that is so critical to the entire community. So I want to put that out there. And I think one of the things we need to keep paying attention to is responding to the current pulse of what the community needs. So You
Yeah.
know, that's going to change, you know, the focus periodically, but, you know, our goal is to
Partnership.
hear from you what your needs are and respond. Yeah.
Responding. It's a response to what the needs are. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because I know we're getting close to time, and you're right. I think we need to make this an extra 90 minutes. That's my plug. But
Well, here's the deal. I'll challenge you with this. I think we should do a show live from the Guidance Center with us going on a tour and talking and cameras and all kinds of stuff. But go ahead.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. But for those who are listening, or spread the word, you mentioned, what do we have? We have our end of year giving campaign that is coming up. So if you want to get your 2022 tax deduction in, do it now. You call us, you reach out to us, you can direct mail us, you can send it individually, you can stop by, you can go on our website and donate. Nothing is too big or too small. Every bit of support helps. You can think about stock gifts. There's planned giving gifts, bequests, and just know that stay tuned, be on the lookout, visit our website, subscribe. We will be looking at a movie night in February. And we have our spring luncheon, April 27th, 2023. We have our cravat golf outing in June, date to be determined, and our annual gala in September. So
movie night we got to talk about. I mean, here's the offer. You mentioned February. I don't know if it's even anybody's interest, but my dad's got Ralph's Italian Ices in Huntington. I will donate ices for the movie night if you want them. It's going to be chilly. Probably it's February, but who knows? Global warming. I don't know. All right. I got to thank
Champions for Charity coming up.
When is
First
that?
week of December. Champions for Charity.
Champions for Charity. All right.
Americana has Manhasset.
I saw that.
Yeah, proceeds.
I saw that on the website. All right, December. Give me the date again, real quick.
December 1st.
December 1st.
Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
To the 3rd.
December 3rd through the 3rd. Oh, it's like a thing. I go spend money at Americana. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, we'll share that on Facebook after. We got to leave it here. Nothing I like to do. I never like to end a good conversation, but you know what? There are parameters, there are walls, and that's sometimes we got to play with inside these parameters. Jennifer Rush, Kathy Rivera, thank you for being friends of mine. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you, all the people. I don't have time to thank you all for checking in on Facebook and text. I think this is my Emmy Award winning performance. This is the one. This is the winner. This is it. I've never had this much support and feedback during the show as I have had with you both today and all the people checking in. A lot of hearts on Facebook. Thank you all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for the work you do, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Keep doing your work.
I appreciate your gratitude, and I got to remember to accept gratitude better. So thank you for thanking me. I leave you with this. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. That's Robin Williams. Make it a great day, everybody. Thank you again. Bye.
Thanks again.
Thank
Be
you.
well.
Take care, everyone.